Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissack and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissack.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Dana, are you going to be in the region this week? I forgot to ask you that.
I'm in the region next week.
Oh, next week. So you're not going to come to that recruiting class that I heard is like phenomenal?
No, that's next week. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be there too.
Oh, good. With Mike Bastion?
Yeah. I'll be there too. Yeah, because I'm going to go and then I got to leave early that day and go to Chicago. But yeah, I'll be there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to be there next week. Yeah, this week I'm in Charleston right now. Wednesday I go to Austin. I'm going to Gary's Leadership Academy.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Then from there I go to Kentucky, and then I'm in Kentucky and Ohio all next week. So I'll be at the regional stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'll be there. I'll get there this Wednesday, and then I'll be there till I go to Chicago the next Wednesday. So I'll see you there. Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Oh, yay. I'm so excited.
I thought I heard you say that. Okay, so today we decided we're going to talk about I know everybody's setting their goals. They're thinking about what they want to do next year, listing their goals. And so you and I decided we were going to talk about why everyone should at least put one impossible or 10X goal on their list.
Yep.
So let's kind of share with that. So I kind of wrote down some of the benefits or the things that I think impossible goals do. And the first one I'll add is it forces honesty on your business or your life.
Oh, I love that.
If it's a personal one or a business one, it's going to force honesty on what's really going on or what habits you really have or what you really spend your time doing or how you spend your money, whatever, depending on the goal is. Does that make sense?
Yep, totally. Yeah. Yep. And sometimes I think when we get complacent for a long enough period of time, then we don't want to know what those things are. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think that, or they become second nature. So you don't even see them. You don't see them until all of a sudden they're not supporting this big impossible goal that you have. They're getting in the way, and you start to see that they're getting in the way actually.
Yep, totally.
Number 2 thing I put was they create a crisis. There's a sense of urgency that changes because you know how impossible the goal is or how big.
Yeah. And
so now all of a sudden you kind of feel like you're in a little bit of a crisis mode.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because, and we might just could use my life as a real life example of this on one episode, but, I have one of my bigger impossible goals has been my book and like some things that just go with that. But I mean, it's a 6-figure investment. It's just a lot of time. It's a lot but it's funny because God keeps giving me, Linda, some of these when I share with you, you'll die, but like smack in the face signs about stuff lately. But it's crazy because it has given me like this sense of urgency where, before I was like, if I get it done in 3-4 years, like it'll be good. But I think because I've been feeling God so much say like now, like this is what I want you to, then now I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it my impossible goal and then one of them for next year. And it's like gets you in this sense of urgency where you're like, oh crap, like I got to get this done. I got to get my calendar time blocked the way that it needs to be. I got to get the funds in order the way they need to be. Like it really just gets you going.
Yeah, it does. It creates a crisis.
But sometimes a mess too. Do you think? Like, because I feel a little bit like it could create a little bit of a messiness.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you got a lot of stuff that's probably your floor that isn't serving you, and there's no room for the stuff that will serve you. So you're trying to figure out, how do I get this cleared off so I can get the one thing or the few things in there that I need to do. Yeah. It would definitely make a mess for a while. It forces me to look a lot at what I wouldn't look for. In other words, like if I don't have an impossible goal, I'm not looking for the right kind of people or things to help me get it. So it makes me look for things that I wouldn't normally be looking for. Like,
so like outside of the box thinking kind of?
Well, in the example of a book, I had a phone call with a guy the other day that I got from Jeff Woods.
Yeah.
That's $100,000. I mean,
Yeah.
now we've done books before. They're 30 to 50,000.
Oh
to do
yeah.
a
Oh,
book.
and they've gone up. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been interviewed 7 publishers now, and
Yeah.
the absolute average is 50 grand.
Yeah. Well, this guy's 100, but I wouldn't normally have looked for somebody for his caliber, but because it forces you to start looking for
Yep.
ways to get to this impossible goal that aren't the other things you've been doing.
Yep.
You kind of have to wake up and go, okay, what would that mean if I was able to get that done?
Yep.
What kind of caliber of person am I going to need in my life to help me get there? So
Totally.
all of a sudden you look for things that you wouldn't normally look for, just like you're
Yeah.
looking for the publishers.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, I just did a call with with a different brand builders, the group that does the bestseller launch. Like it's the whole plan to get you on one of the lists, you know, the New York Times bestseller or the this or the that or whatever. And I thought I would have never have looked for that if I wouldn't have had like this really big goal. And then I started reaching out to people who I knew had kind of done that. And then everybody gave me the same guy's contact information, name and contact information. So then I set up a call with him. And then I was like, after the Zoom, I was like, well, now I see why everybody's using this same guy.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's funny though, is also it makes you, like when I got off the phone call with him, it makes me look at, I mean, it's a higher level of commitment. That's my next one was forces you to commit at a higher level.
Yeah.
Because when I got off the phone with the guy I was speaking to the other day, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Do I have my crap in a row? Do I know what I want this book to do?
Yes.
Am I sure about the marketing? I mean, I started asking myself higher level questions because it's such a higher commitment than you'd normally have on anything.
100%. But you know what I told Adam? We went on a walk this weekend and we were talking about all this. And I told him, normally that would, I mean, well, it does kind of make me, but I was thinking this is like a pee your pants kind of moment. Like this is a new big commitment that it makes me want to pee my pants to invest this large amount of money to get something done by March in order for it to drop when it needs to drop. Like it's a tight time frame. Just everything about it it literally was the 4 C's. It was like, I just need to go make a big commitment. And honestly, doing that it's gonna push me. You know what I mean? I mean, I need it really, honestly.
Yeah. The next one I put is it's going to include who's that you don't have in your life right now, which I think is a great thing because I think everything in your life gets better, which I think you and I are going to do an episode on how to get in relationship with people that you think are impossible to get in a relationship with. But I think what it does is the higher caliber of who's that you wind up having to connect with changes everything for you. When I really think about the big leaps and bounds and changes, it's because somewhere along the line I got connected with a different who at a different level. And so I think one of the beautiful gifts of a big goal or a 10X goal is the who's that you now have to get to know and get in relationship with and hire and all those things.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah.
So what else would you say on like 10X? Some of the things, I know you guys did a whole thing on 10X goals. What are some of your thoughts around what are the benefits?
I'll tell you one thing that it's really done, kind of twofold. And this is just through going through this with the team lately. But number one, it either shows you who's really on board and committed on your team, or it shows you who's not. And when you come out with a big impossible goal and you need other people around you and your team to help you fulfill that, people are either excited about it and they're all in. I mean, I had a guy text one of our guys on Dylan and I's team this morning in the Kentucky office. He sent us a text. I mean, he's one of those Pam Bornhorst. I mean, I'm starting to get texts from him earlier and earlier every single day. And I'm like,
Pam's up. What's his name?
Like, his name's Clay. So I'm like, Clay's up. Clay's up. I mean, he sent me a text this morning at 7:36. Morning, guys. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. I just finished the 10X is Easier Than 2X book over the holiday. My biggest takeaway is that I'm your who and you are my who, and that I need to commit to my unique abilities. And then he had this whole list of all these people that we need to be in contact with that he's been thinking of. And I'm like, but then on the other flip side, there are people that are like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know that I have, that I'm committed enough to do this. And so it's like it's exposed
Yeah.
kind of like who's all in.
Oh gosh.
Which has been interesting to see, like as the
Yeah.
leader, it's interesting to kind of see who's all in wearing the 10X shirts. They reread the book, they're ready to go versus who's like, whoa, this is too much for me.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to another point. The right people will step up to the plate to help you.
That's right.
Because you remember the girl that we had on the podcast? I'm going to have lunch with her next week also. Gosh, my mind just shot a blank. The cool story about she got her grandmother's house. What was her name?
Got her grandmother's house. Oh,
Remember,
gosh.
she was the realtor, and she was living in this big old house, and they weren't.
From up north.
Yes. No, from Florida. She's from Florida.
Oh.
Down south. Anyway, her name will come to me as soon as we get off this podcast. But anyway, Brittany, no.
Hold on. I'll try to find it. Keep going.
Okay. Well, anyway, she immediately reached out to me and gave me some ideas on a system that would help me to reach the impossible goal.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the people come out of the woodwork to start helping you. So that's another great benefit is people will show up and start trying to help you succeed at it. And then I watched a thing on YouTube the other day about Elon Musk. Imagine how many impossible goals he has, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he said exactly what you said about the employee. If they weren't on board and he could tell, they were out.
Yeah.
Because he said, I can't achieve impossible goals with people who don't think it's possible or aren't on board or negative about it or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's been interesting to see. And I was thinking too about this.
It's Bethany, I think. Wasn't her name Bethany?
Yes, I do think it's Bethany. I was trying to look, but then I was trying to talk about this at the same time. If anybody knows, it's probably Kate. She's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've done that. Shoot, now I got squirreled. Oh, I know what I was going to say. One thing that it has done for me, Linda, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way, but it has like kind of just renewed my energy. Like I just feel like I'm excited about something. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I go back to that quote. Man, we shared it before, and hold on, I do have this. I got a new phone, and this is my problem. I can't find any of my stuff on my phone. I'm like, I can't find any of my stuff. But it reminded me of that quote about people, found it. Human beings find happiness in progress. When we are not making progress, things get dark and we start to spiral.
Yes.
And I mean, that's like, if there was a quote that was beside my name in a dictionary of life, like that is it. I need to be in progress or I guess can start to spiral. Yeah. And thinking about these impossible goals and really setting them, especially for next year, it's given me like, I feel like I'm more in progress on something and it's just like totally renewed my energy again.
Yeah. It's super exciting.
It's year you need that kind of, you know?
Yeah. It's exactly what it did for me is it rejuvenated me, got me almost a little anxious, waking up earlier, worrying about how am I going to figure this out?
Yeah. I will say too, I think another thing is it is inspiring to other people though. Because so many people have reached out to me and said, like, I love that you're going back to 10X, and I love that Linda has an impossible goal. Linda doesn't even need to have big impossible goals anymore, and she still does. Like, it's inspiring when you see somebody and you're like, man, they're really still getting after it. Like, they've got whether it's a personal goal or a business goal or whatever, but it's that it goes back to what John said. They're just, you see people not settling when they're looking for a bigger impossible goal. In fact, it's encouraged Adam. I don't think I told you this yet, but we make our big vision boards at the end of every year for next year when we're in Florida. And Adam said, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you my vision board is going to be real slim for next year. And I was like, really? Why? You don't have things you want to accomplish? And he said, no, I have like 3 or 4 huge, big, impossible things. And he was like, that's it. Like, that's my focus. Yeah. I'm not putting all this other little stuff on there anymore. And he was like, I'm going to focus on these big, impossible things. And that's it.
I think that's a good idea too. Because I think sometimes we try to put on too many things and they actually become noise or kind of disturbances to get the one big thing that we really, really are after or that we want.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a great plan.
Yeah. It reminds me back to one of the questions in the KPA, the thought process, which is like, how long are you willing to fail before you achieve something?
Yeah.
And I kind of keep thinking about this because the thing about an impossible goal, did you put a time frame on it?
Well, honestly, here's the thing. We're supposed to, I'm doing this 90-day challenge. So it's supposed to be 90 days. But what I did was I put one that I'm happy if I get it in the next year, but I
Yeah.
have to lay the foundation in the next 90 days.
Right.
So I
Okay.
kind of looked at it like that. It's probably a good year to accomplish it. But
Yep.
if I'm not laying the foundation in 90 days, I'm not doing it in a year unless there's some kind of miracle, which I don't know that that's going to happen. So
Yeah,
I'm
that
going to
makes
bank on that.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's kind of what I was thinking about. I feel like sometimes with these impossible goals, we're so used to saying like this is going to be done by September 1st, or whatever. But I kind of feel like with some of these impossible goals, they're just it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and I'm like you. I think it's rejuvenating. It's exciting. It's a little extra pressure, but it's good pressure. It's good
Yeah.
stress. It's kind of like a sauna. It's a good stress that
Yep.
you probably need. And so I would encourage everybody to come up with at least one impossible goal, whether you do it in the next. I'd even thought about maybe doing a challenge next year for anybody who wants to
I
do
was
it.
gonna say I wish she would because Jess that works for Adam, Jess Weber, she's doing this 90-day thing that you're doing. She's been in it from the beginning with Ben.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in there, and she was like, "Man, I wish so bad that this wasn't going to be the last time that he was doing it."
I know.
And she was
Yeah.
like, "I'm saving all the material because I just want to, I want to keep doing it. I want to do it again." But it would be something cool to kind of try to replicate in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, yeah. I've kind of been working on it a little bit with Zoe. She's kind of looking at the calendar and see if we can figure out how to make something work. But
Yeah,
anyway, I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I thought, I really think now's the time for us to bring this up for anybody who's setting their goals or
yeah,
deciding what they want for 2025 to encourage them and see the benefits of making one impossible goal or a 10x goal. Of
yep.
course, read it. 10x is easier than 2x. That's a great one. I love Be Your Future Self Now. I think those are both prerequisite books that
Oh
that
yeah,
that would be good to read before you decide what your impossible goal is. But
yeah, yeah.
anyway,
So good. It's definitely it is a mindset shift though,
yeah, yeah, so true, so true.
in a
But
good way.
again, it falls in the line of like we love 4 C's we have for several years.
Yeah,
It falls in line with that. It really does. And Mark Willis said something recently that I loved. He said, the thing you're avoiding is the thing you need to do the most. And I think when you set an impossible goal, it
you have
forces
to.
you to go do that. You
Yeah,
kind of can't accept not doing it anymore.
yeah. Totally agree with that. Yeah, I
Awesome.
totally agree with that. Yeah, this
Okay.
is so good. I love this. I'm
Any
just like pumped about it.
okay. Any final thoughts or things you want to share with everybody before we close out tonight?
No, but I mean, I want to reiterate what you said, which is everybody needs to be thinking about one impossible goal. I mean, if you can't think of a personal one, business or vice versa, but something that, and then really share it with somebody because, I mean, if you just have it in your head, I mean, I think you really need to share it with somebody so that you can start getting it out there.
Well, I think sharing it with somebody it's actually a gift for you because they go to work and help you, but it's actually a gift for them too.
Yeah.
I think I said this to you and to Sloan when we were talking to her on our other podcast, but there is really a joy in hearing what somebody wants to accomplish and figuring out how you can help them do that.
Yeah.
That is really a gift that we give people.
Yep.
And if we don't share our impossible goal, then we don't give somebody out there the chance to share something with us that might help us reach that goal and would at the same time give them a gift because as humans, we're wired to want to help other people accomplish things.
Well, remember what in one of everybody's favorite episodes with Dave Martin in his book, The Force of Favor, I had it right here because it's been like my book of the year, but he said one of the best ways to receive favor from God is to be a problem solver. Because remember, that's what I said this. And then in my book, I wrote Linda's superpower, but it's because people want to solve problems for you and they want to help you. And he said in this book, this is one of my favorite things. You add more than you subtract. You contribute more than you take. In return, God is pleased to favor you. He's pleased to elevate you and to show you his goodness when you help other people solve problems. Yeah. And it's so true. I'm like, man, so that's true. That's a great point, Linda. When you share, you're helping other people make yours happen. And people want to help you solve problems.
And it's funny, I noticed in that Friday call that I do with Ben, I want to, every time somebody has a challenge, I want to actually jump in and help with the challenge more than I want to worry about what I need out of it.
Yep.
But I also noticed that the group helps each other.
Yeah.
Like this was really cool. And this will come up in the story that when we talk about how to get in relationship with anybody you think is impossible to get in relationship with. But I noticed one of the girls' impossible goals was to get on Ed Milet. She loves Ed Milet.
On the podcast?
Yeah. On the podcast, or meet with him in person or something. Well, she had this one way she was going to get there, and somebody on the call said, hey, right now he's signing up, not a lot of people, but a few people, for a private group.
Maxed out. I saw that.
And she immediately did it. And that immediately got her so much closer than the thing she was going to do.
Yeah.
So it's just those kind of things that if you just put it out there, you just never know who knows somebody or knows something, a bit of information that's going to help move you forward a little farther than you could go on your own.
And I do think some people, like, I think one of my spiritual gifts, and I would definitely say yours is too, the person I know who has this the most is John, but is actually connecting. Like, I think certain people have a gift of connecting. Like, you hear somebody and you're like, oh, I know somebody, let me introduce you to so-and-so. Or like, you just remember it, and it's I don't know. I just think there's a lot of power in that.
Oh, I'm going to write, matter of fact, that reminds me of the story. Okay. So I can't wait for us to do the podcast on how to get in a relationship with somebody you think's impossible, because I'm just watching it unfold before me.
Yeah.
Which remind me to tell you, I was on, remember the Kendra Hall that did the storytelling?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I joined, I don't even know what I signed up for, but I had a call with her husband the other day.
Oh.
And what's interesting is the process they kind of take you through to kind of get your story and figure out how to tell it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Made me realize so many things, just the process. So sometimes just being with a group or signing up and committing to the process will uncover so many things. But I can't wait, because part of this plays out in validity of how you get in a relationship with people that you think you couldn't get in a relationship with. So anyway, we'll share that for another episode.
Love it. Awesome.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you at the class next week, right?
Yes, I can't wait. It's going to be really great. We used during his retreat, or during my retreat, the one that you zoomed in on, right before you zoomed in, we spent an hour and a half going through his entire Zoom models thing around what he's like. It's so good. I mean, it's very good. So I'm super anxious.
I've heard a lot of people say it's the best leadership class they've been to for recruiting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
Okay, well, we'll see you there. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that now. If you have not given us a review, please go ahead and give us a great review right now. Also, the greatest compliment you can give us is pass this podcast along to anyone that you think would benefit from these kinds of conversations. If you know a guest, a challenge, or an opportunity that would be better served on this podcast, be sure and reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. Dana, I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you then.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.